3 lucky people and 3 lucky questions. Welcome to Beyond the Wall. If you haven't seen The Walking Dead, don't watch this. The first question is quite a fun one actually. I just loved it. If someone was trying to torture me, what song would irritate me the most and make me break? Now I've got 2. One of them's more topical, one of them's more recent, which a lot of you won't have heard of. Actually, Melissa, you probably have heard this one because it's all over New Zealand radios constantly. A lot of you probably haven't, so maybe you can go and listen to it and feel my pain. It just isn't a good song to me. It's a song called Confidence by Ocean Alley, and it's just like, oh my god. Every time I hear it, it just makes me want to like cringe up. It's all about confidence. Oh my days. Like, I think the reason it gets to me as well is I just don't think it's a good song, and then everyone in their right mind is using it. I don't understand why people like it. Like, I genuinely hate it. And the second one is one that we used to get played when we were kids quite a lot. Band in America. Oh yeah, so this might spark some debate. So there's a song called like Mama Told Me Not to Come, or Mama Told Me or whatever. Oh my gosh, like, I mean the first few times I heard it as a kid, like it was alright, but then like every time we were in the car, it's just traumatic. If anyone has any plans to put me in a room and torture me with music, there you go, you have the means to do so. If I've offended people, good. Okay, that's question 1 out the way. Thank you for that question. I thought that was quite a fun one. And there's 2 like that are quite beefy, and I knew this would be quite a beefy Beyond the Wall, so if it's more than 10 minutes, brilliant. I'm going to start with Hyperfizz. If an apocalypse was to happen, do you think that Negans Saviors could be a group that could actually form? Yes. Now, someone else, I don't know, there's another comment on here. I apologize that I haven't put your name up. How do I think it would form? Now, I don't think it will be that hard. Obviously, I don't know Negan's backstory right now, but he kind of gives me like biker kind of vibes, or he gives me, maybe he was in prison kind of vibes, like some vibes like that. More so a biker kind of vibe. So like if, I don't know, like he was a part of a gang pre-apocalypse, or if he was a part of some kind of group that was particularly like anti-government, anti-law, anti-this, anti-that. If he was a part of something like that beforehand, it wouldn't be that hard to like carry that over, have your group of bikers, and then slowly start to add additions to your group through fear until the point where you end up with an empire, right? Because I don't genuinely feel like Negan's the only one who's that far on. Who is that other guy? That other guy that we saw that sort of said to Rick, this might be your last day on Earth. He gives me vibes like he's that far on as well. So, like, I don't think it'll be that hard for, like, a group to exist that's, like, has a very, very different skewed perspective on the world and life and all these different things and the law and yada, yada, yada. And that bend the law even did before the apocalypse, that were sort of raising hell even before the apocalypse, and then they just got the opportunity to do so without any punishment post-apocalypse. It doesn't surprise me. So, yeah, that's how I think, like, it could happen with Negan. I presume he was with people beforehand. I presume he wasn't alone when he started this. It must have, like, he must have already had some kind of authority over some people, I think. That's just my personal view. I don't know. I'm gonna find that out very, very soon. I find it hard to believe that he just rocked up with a smile, like they sort of said, and just everyone immediately followed him. We already spoke a lot in the last reaction about this whole group not being bad, and it turns out a lot of them probably aren't, which means there are a lot of people that dislike Negan, which means that there are a lot of flaws in this group. But we don't need to go into that today. We can go into that in a future episode. So yes, that's how I think it could form. Yes, I do believe this kind of group would form, and I don't believe it's too far-fetched of an idea that it would be pretty straightforward, and I don't even think it'd be a rare occurrence in the apocalypse. Like, you genuinely probably get quite a few groups like this. All the other groups that we've come across so far have kind of had stories, and like we kind of got to learn their stories pretty early. Well, obviously we don't know much about Negan. I think that's the key point. We don't know much about Negan or before. We know a little bit of how he obtains new members, but anything before that we don't know. I don't think I can think of even a single justification for why this would exist. Whereas with the governor, you could think of like why maybe he thinks the way he does. With the termites, we learned why. With Dawn, we knew why. Like, this is the first time where it just kind of felt like different. But anyway, this leads perfectly on to the next question, so thank you, Hyperfizz. The next question is from Al, one of my beloved moderators. Do you think people with the mentality like Negan could change, or should we just end them? This is a very contentious topic, and the reason it is because we're actually going through our own little phase right now of, do we follow Morgan's ideology of having an ability to imprison people, having an ability to keep people and give them an opportunity to change? Do we do that if we have the means to? Now, I'm all for Morgan's perspective as long as it's practical. If we're in a situation where we can't really practically do it, I don't really feel like there's a solution. Like, if we have the opportunity to kill Negan, then I feel like we now need to take that shot. Like, this guy gives me the vibe that he doesn't sort of back off, you know, like even if we did give him a second chance, he'd probably come back. You see where I'm coming from? So like, if we don't have the means to, if the only way we can do this going forward is to take that shot, I just think we're gonna have to do it. And it's mind-blowing because season 1 me wouldn't say that. Like, isn't it crazy how you look back at my season 1 reactions and they're so different? If someone's got a proven track record of brutalizing this world and hurting people and taking stuff for their own and being sadistic and all these different things, I could make a list this bloody long. Like, if they keep proving that to us, there's nothing we can do other than believe what they're saying. Do you see where I'm coming from? So there's that side of it. But if we have the ability and we're confident in that ability to keep him, I think that that's probably what we should do. Only because I don't really believe in the death penalty in the real world. So like, unless it's absolutely essential, which this might be, I don't know. I still haven't seen the full capability of Negan. I've seen what he's capable of to an extent, but I haven't seen what he does if there's a second warning shot. What does he do if we defy him again? I've only experienced him once, so it's kind of hard for me to gauge with this question. But ultimately, it would make sense that we would follow Morgan's logic if practical, if possible, and if safe to do so. If there's a bunch of saviors still alive and we just have Negan, then it sort of opens up the risk of like, well, we're just keeping him until he gets broken out, and then what? Genuinely though, like, after what he's done, like, the crazy thing is I just want him gone. I just want him dead. But I know that if I keep wanting that and it comes down to that, I'll feel guilty for thinking that, because it's like, it doesn't really fit my moral beliefs. Do I think people with the mentality like Negan could change, or should we just end them? Here's where I'm at with this. Let me try and answer this simply. I don't think Negan can be saved. I don't think Negan can be forgiven, and I don't think Negan can change. Not after what he's done. Like, he has stepped well and truly beyond that line of coming back. But all those that follow him, we've had a lot in the last episode with Dwight and then that whole group, and not just Dwight as well, but everyone else that's there. I don't know about all of them, but I have a feeling like the vast majority of them, my answer is immediately going to be yes. We need to be open to the opportunity that they could change and do better if it's safe and practical to do so. I don't know how to judge it though. We haven't seen it successfully done. Does that mean we should never do it? No. But it's like, how much do we want to risk? If I'm honest, I get the feeling like my gut's gonna say if we get Negan in our grasp and they're all safe and we know that killing him is gonna solve the problem, we're just gonna have to solve the problem. But then all of the rest is like, it's way more complicated because they've all got their own little stories. Like I said in the last reaction, I genuinely feel like they're all a step too far to be forgiven, but they're not a step too far to be understood. I don't know. It's a really hard question to answer. I feel like I might have to come back to this question in the long run, eh? No, I don't think Negan can change. You don't do that to people with a smile on your face, and you don't torture people like that without there being something seriously messed up in your brain. And the crazy thing is now my brain's sitting here saying like, even if we do get our hands on him, is it kind of disrespectful to like consider keeping him alive after like what he's done to Maggie, to Sasha, what he's done to Rosita, what he's done to countless of different people that are probably all going to have very strong opinions about this? Is it kind of unfair on them to be like, oh, we're just gonna keep him alive and then like risk further damage? I don't know, because what he's done in the real world, he would go away for the rest of his life. But there's no way of really doing that. I think the way you've worded your question is very, very cool though, because like you've worded it like people like with the mentality like Negan. I think you're not even referring to Negan. I've been talking all about what I think about Negan, but the people beyond Negan and around Negan, my answer is actually quite straightforward. Do we think we should just end them? No. Like there's a much deeper thought process to go on there. And the thing about Negan is I still see him as very smart as well. Even if he does get captured, if he then gets out, I see him as being the sort of person who's just gonna come back even harder with vengeance. If we don't play to his rules, the game's not over till it's over, you know? Like, I feel like in his eyes, it's not game over until he's dead. In which case, the rules still apply. In which case, if he gets out, it's game on. I know there's going to be a debate about it at some point. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope I've answered that. I don't really know. I think the best way to put it is I don't know. I don't think it's right to know until I get to that point when there's a chance for me to think about it on the spot. There's an opportunity presented to me, and I have to make that gut feeling. I don't feel the gut feeling right now because I don't feel it. But when I feel it, I'll let you know. But anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in to Beyond the Wob. A little update about Telltale, guys. Yes, that is coming. It should really be this right now. I've been in a bit of a weird mindset at the moment because of got a lot of stuff going on in life and I feel a little bit all over the place. Like I don't really know what I want to do and it's freaking me out. So that's why that hasn't been coming out. I just can't seem to get myself in the mindset of sitting down for an hour and a half, 2 hours and getting that out. But I plan to do it in the next few days. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, guys, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to for new content every single week. Of course, follow the Instagram, Daniel Reed with 2 Ds. And as ever, let me know down below what you thought of the episode, the reaction, or not reaction, the Beyond the Wall. But anyway, that's all from me, guys. As ever, it's been more Dan. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.